Today we have maybe black oak. I say that with a question mark because that's the way it's written on the wood. This comes to us from Joe Kozak. He's a friend of Tuffy Marginez, and he got this at Shasta Lake, California, and apparently he's not real sure what it is, so he put black oak with a question mark on there. I'm going to have to do some trimming on it before we can do any turning on it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop. Howdy, let's take a closer look at it. The piece currently is about 10-inch diameter and about 9 inches tall. I've been debating which way to turn it. I kind of wanted that to be the bottom, and here's the reason why. But it's just too cattywampus. It's just too heavy on one side and skinny on the other side. When it's got some projections that are gonna go away anyway, there and there. And so I'm going to, because that would just go away whether I turned it on the top or the bottom, so I'm gonna cut it away. I'm gonna cut it off down here about, I don't know, looks like about 2.5 inches, maybe 3 inches down. I'm just gonna cut that whole part off of there. I think this was a root, judging by all the tiny roots coming off of there. And I think that was probably the down part in the ground, and it just rotted off, didn't it? Probably just fell over. I'm gonna take this to the bandsaw, make some major cuts to it and some minor trimming cuts. We'll get it mounted up on the lathe and get to turning. I did some careful trimming and we didn't really lose that much in size. It's still about 10 inches across. Currently it's about 5 inches tall, but I'm going to take some of that off of the bottom. What I've done is installed a faceplate ring here. I'm just going to put that on my chuck and open the chuck jaws into it. There's a dovetail that mates with the chuck jaws, so that'll give us a good strong hold. That's where the big rotten part was inside there. Bring up the tool rest and the tailstock. Now I expected this to be off center. I know it looks silly, but that's why I have to take it up a little higher. It's just the way the piece is, you know, it's just so far off center at the bottom. I found a pretty good center at the top. I like to spin the piece up just a little bit and then bring up the live center and let it find its own hole. It's a little thing, but I think it's important. Where we're going to start? I think we'll start on this corner. I bet we can't get much speed here. I'm sure it's quite out of balance. Yeah, about 430 RPM. I'm going to sharpen up my 5/8 inch bowl gouge, get my mask and face shield on, we'll get at it. Oh my gosh. This is going to take a while, isn't it? Whoa! Well, that's okay. We got time and patience, and that's what you need. I'm going to come over here to the side, a little more of the side here. This little bit right here, great feature that I don't want to lose, so I intend to just come up, I don't know, 1/2 inch below it and leave this top edge the way it is. Kind of hard to see it when it's spinning. I am beat up. Well, I'll come the other way and then I can use the sharp side of my gouge maybe. I think I will come down to the bottom. I want to take it up some where it gets a little bit wider up here where I can center my tenon on the bottom a little better. So we're going to come up here at least a 1/2 inch, maybe as much as 1 inch, I'm not sure. I'm also going to go sharpen up. Now I'm wondering if I should use my larger jaws, put a bigger tenon on there than I was going to, which means I would need even more space. I'd have to go up even higher. But this is some tough wood. I might need that extra size on the tenons. Okay, fine. I am going to go up higher. I think I want to use a larger tenon. Besides, I won't have anything for it to set on for that whole distance here, especially with the larger tenon. Okay, that should do it. That's more than I wanted to take, but kind of necessary. Actually, I think I'm going to go with a recess instead of a tenon. But it is going to be a large recess. I'm going to use my recess tool to put a dovetail over here. Okay, and that's good. Now we can come back over here and work on our side profile. We're getting closer. Put a little block of wood in here because I don't want to mess up my nice recess. Just for a little extra support while I work on this side and the bottom still. Whew, that is some hard wood. And then being an interrupted cut doesn't help any. Boy, that is some beautiful wood there, huh? I hope we can save much of that. Wow, that's hard. Before I started this turning, this was a flat cut across here and across here, and I sort of rounded those a little bit on my bandsaw before we got started. So I want to round these over a little bit. They don't get touched by the gouge because I'm protecting this. So the way I'm going to do that is with my angle grinder with a flap wheel on it. And I'm just going to kind of soften this edge right here, kind of blend it in with the rest of the bowl. And I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. So that's just the start. I'll do a little bit more, and of course I haven't touched over here yet. And then when I sand with my 2-inch disc, I think it'll blend all in even better. So then with the lathe spinning in reverse at about 350, I'm starting with 80 grit for that, and I'll work up through 400 grit, and I'll bring you back here in a bit and we'll put some probably sanding sealer on there. See you in a bit. I forgot to say that I'll also be using my Sandoflex on all of the irregular unturned surfaces along here and up here like that, and just kind of along this top edge a little bit. That'll smooth it out and make it feel good and take a good finish. So back at it for me, sanding, sanding, sanding. Alrighty then, let's see what we got. I think we're gonna have some beauteousness. There's so much to see here, and we haven't even got to the inside yet. This is sanding sealer, shellac-based sanding sealer. It's called Zinsser Seal Coat. It comes ready to use out of the can. I don't do anything to it at all. Oh, this is going to be very interesting, especially when I get a brush on there. And after this, I will apply Zinsser Shellac. Look at that. It's just like lace. Even this crack is really cool. Wood is just so interesting, isn't it? I'm really happy with the way these high parts, they turned out really nice. They just blend in really well. This is just where the wood has deteriorated some, so it's a little bit softer than the rest of it. And I don't like to go too far with the brush before I come behind it with a rag to clean up whatever mess I've made along this edge next to the brush area. So this is going to take a little while to do, but you get the general idea. I'll bring you back here in a little bit and we'll start working on the inside. Can't wait to see what's in there for us. Looks cool so far, right? See you in a bit. Boy, being a retired guy, you'd think I'd have time on my hands, but here it is, 3:15 in the afternoon. I'm just getting started. We're going to be turning at 700 RPM, 5/8 inch bowl gouge. I'm going to start with my short one, and then I'll switch to the longer one as we get deeper. Mask and face shield on. You can see the gouge just bouncing around. This is a hard cut to make. First of all, it's end grain. Second of all, you got really rotten, soft wood, so you're pressing harder to get in there, and then all of a sudden you hit not rotten wood, and so it's just bouncing around. It's difficult, but that rot did not extend to the bottom, so we're going to get rid of it sooner or later, but I'm afraid it's going to be later. We can still come a little bit further. This is already dull, and it was sharp when we started, so I'm going to switch to the longer one. It's sharp. Now this is dull. Now that's about as thin as we can go right there. Not thick at all, maybe a 1/4 inch. And there's cracks along there, so I don't really want to go any thinner than that. Yep, they're both dull. I'm going to go sharpen up. And this is just going to take a while, so I'm going to bring you back here in a little bit. I'm going to work at it. I'll bring you back and show you some progress once I get down there another inch or two. It's been about 20 minutes since I left you, and I just wanted to show you what we're getting here. Just dust. And I switched to carbide, and I've gone maybe a 1/2 inch since we're taking a look at the bowl. So not much, not much. I'm pushing hard. That is just some hard oak. So I'll just keep working at it. I'll bring you back again when I've got something to show you. Hopefully progress. Well, as you can see, I've gone back to my gouge. At least I feel like I'm doing something, and I'm actually making more progress than I was with the carbide. Not much progress, but more progress. I'll just keep working at it. I'll bring you back in a little while. I got to the bottom. 1/4 inch thick down there. My cuts are amazing. I don't even have to scrape it. It just worked. So I'm just rounding over this edge a little bit, soften it, and I think I'm about there. I think that's a big improvement. Okay, what do you know? Man, what a chore. Time for sanding. I'm sanding forward and reverse, beginning with 80 grit, working up through 400 grit. I'm going to go ahead and put the finish on the inside. I want you to get the full effect when it's done. So I'll bring you back here and we'll take a good look at this thing as soon as I get the finish on. See in just a little bit. Be sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can see the before and after shots of this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, here it is. One natural edge black oak bowl in the books, and it's a beauty. Boy, was it a lot of work. Holy smokes. You like that part I saved here? That was very important to me. Looks cool on that side as well. And there's the area that caused me to stop turning the inside. It's about an 1/8 of an inch thick right here, and it goes down to about 1/4 inch thick down here. And look at that. Look at that. Ooh, that's my favorite part. This looks like lace, huh? And there's the bottom, all signed, sealed, and delivered. I really like it. It was a whole lot of work, way more than I thought. That wood is hard, I'll tell you what. But I got a great finish on there, just what I like. Just enough to, you know, give it a light shine, a nice sheen, but you can still feel the grain of the wood. And oak just feels good to me. It feels like it looks. Thank you, Joe Kozak, for providing today's wood, and Tuffy Marginez for sending it along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly. I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome, and I love reading them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.